I'd like to say hi, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me today for our Monday Healing Steps Facebook Live here in the Bridge to Healing community. Now, if this is your first time tuning in, I'd like to say welcome. I'm Janine Naus, your grief and trauma relief specialist, and my mission is to support you in healing from the wounds of trauma and rediscovering the strength within yourself. Now, this community is a safe space for you to explore healing, growth, and transformation one step at a time. And I'm so grateful you're here today. So, whether you've been a part of this journey with me for a while or you're just starting out, your healing does matter. So, if you're watching live, let me know in the comments. Just type the word live so I can acknowledge you. And if you're watching the replay, type pound replay so I know that you stopped by. So, your presence is important, and I love to connect with you. Now, I'm so glad that you are here. So, today we're going to go ahead and dive into an important and deeply personal topic, and that's rediscovering meaning and purpose after trauma or major life transitions. Now, if you've been feeling lost, disconnected, or unsure of your direction, know that you are not alone. See, trauma and major life changes can shake the foundation of who we are, leaving us questioning who we are, what matters, and where to go next. But healing is possible and purpose can be rediscovered. So, in today's session, I'm going to share why it's common to feel lost after trauma and how to recognize its impact. I'm also going to share some practical tools to help you reconnect with what truly matters. And there's small intentional steps that you can take to create a fulfilling path forward. Now, this is your time, your healing, and your journey toward clarity, confidence, and purpose. So let's go ahead and get started. So before we do dive in to the strategies for rediscovering meaning and purpose, I felt it's important to first understand why this struggle happens in the first place. And if you ever felt disconnected from the things that once brought you joy or found yourself questioning who you are after a major life change, know that you're not alone. Losing a sense of meaning and purpose is not a personal failing. It's a natural response to trauma and major transitions. And when life shifts unexpectedly, or when we experience deep emotional pain, it can feel like everything we once knew is suddenly unfamiliar. And our roles, our relationships, and the things that once gave us direction may no longer feel the same, leaving us feeling adrift, uncertain, and even empty. So let's take a deeper look at why this happens and what it means for your healing journey. So, after trauma or a significant life change, it's natural to feel like the life you once knew is no longer there. And the things that once gave you joy or direction might not resonate anymore. And that loss can feel confusing, disorienting, or even painful. And you may wonder why things that once excited or motivate you now feel like distant or unimportant. So, one of the biggest reasons this happens is because trauma disrupts our sense of identity. The way we saw ourselves before and the way we see ourselves now may no longer match. So, trauma can shake the foundation of our beliefs, shift our priorities, and cause us to withdraw from things that once felt fulfilling. And for many people, this change in identity can feel unsettling. And you may find yourself asking, who am I now? What really matters to me anymore? And where do I go from here? And these questions can feel overwhelming, but they are also the starting point for something new. And when we ask these questions, we are actually beginning the process of rebuilding. We are searching for meaning in a new way, one that fits who we are today, not just who we used to be. I want to pause here and ask you, have you ever felt like you're just going through the motions, unsure of what's next? Have you ever felt disconnected from your passions, your goals, or even from yourself? Now, if this resonates with you, let me know in the comments. And you're not alone in this. And the fact that you are even here exploring this topic means that you are already taking a powerful step toward rediscovering what truly matters to you. Now, this journey isn't about going back to who you were before. It's about discovering who you are becoming. And that is where the real transformation begins. Now that we've explored why trauma and life transitions can make us feel disconnected from meaning and purpose, the next question is, how do we begin to rebuild? If you ever felt stuck waiting for clarity to magically appear, I want to reassure you, you don't have all the answers right now. You don't have to. So, the purpose isn't something you go out and find like a missing puzzle piece. It's actually something you begin to rediscover step by step through small actions that align with who you are today. And when you've gone through the trauma or a major shift in your life, it's easy to feel like meaning and purpose have disappeared. But the truth is, they haven't vanished, they just simply changed. And that means you have an opportunity to explore what feels meaningful to you now. And this is where we begin with small intentional steps that reconnect you to what matters and create a sense of fulfillment one moment at a time. So meaning and purpose aren't lost forever, they simply evolve. And after trauma or major life changes, the things that once gave you direction may no longer resonate, and that's okay. This isn't about trying to return to an old version of yourself. It's about reconnecting with yourself and exploring what matters most to you now. So many people think rediscovering purpose requires a big, life altering revelation, but that's not true. Purpose is not about a single defining mission or a grand life vision. It's found in the small, everyday moments that bring you joy, fulfillment, and a sense of connection. And it could be as simple as having a conversation that makes you feel seen and understood. And it may be spending time in nature, journaling, or engaging in a creative hobby that brings you peace, or helping someone, even in a small way, whether it's offering support to a friend or showing kindness to a stranger. See, each of these small acts connects you to something bigger than the moment itself. They bring a sense of meaning because they align with who you are at your core. And the more you engage in what lights you up, the more purpose naturally begins to take shape. So when you start focusing on these small, meaningful actions, you shift from feeling lost to feeling engaged with life again. And you don't have to know the full path ahead. You just need to take the next step. Now, I want to share a personal story. I remember feeling completely lost after a major transition in my life, and everything felt uncertain. I questioned everything, my choices, my future, even who I was. The things that once gave me direction no longer felt meaningful, and I felt completely disconnected from myself. And during this time, I tried reaching out to family and friends, hoping they could offer support or at least understand what I was really going through, but many of them didn't. Some couldn't grasp the depth of my struggle, how traumatic it was, or how lost I felt. Others outright refused to support me in any way during this transition, which only deepened my isolation. On top of everything, I was facing something incredibly personal. I wanted to help my father by donating my kidney to him, and it was something I felt deeply called to do. And after a long period of tests and evaluations, I learned that I medically couldn't be a donor. That realization was devastating. I had held on to the hope that I could help save him, and when I couldn't, it felt like I had failed him. Then came the unimaginable loss of my father's passing. Our entire family was plunged into tremendous grief, each of us coping in our own ways, trying to make sense of the pain. I was already struggling, and this loss only magnified everything I was feeling: the uncertainty, the loneliness, the deep ache of trying to find my place again. It was a painful place to be because I didn't know where to start. And I kept waiting for clarity to just appear, for some kind of sign that would tell me what to do next. But that moment never came. Eventually, I started with one simple question: what truly matters to me now? At first, I didn't have a clear answer, and that was frustrating. But instead of pressuring myself to figure everything out at once, I allowed myself to explore. I started paying attention to what felt good, even in small ways. And I found that simple actions made a difference. Spending time in nature, reconnecting with a creative passion, such as my writing, I love to write, and having deep conversations with people who made me feel safe. Each of those moments reminded me that I wasn't as lost as I thought, and I was just rebuilding. And over time, I realized something important. I wasn't the same person I used to be, and that was okay. The meaning and purpose I was searching for weren't about going back to who I was before, they were about discovering who I was becoming. And the same is true for you. No matter how lost you feel right now, you are not broken and you are not alone. You are in the process of rebuilding. And with each small intentional step, you will begin to rediscover what matters most to you. And if you've been feeling lost, I want to remind you this is not the end of your story, it's the beginning of something new. You have the power to rediscover what makes life meaningful to you. It doesn't have to be a grand plan or a perfect answer. It starts with one small step. So I want to ask you, what is one small action you can take today that aligns with what matters to you? It could be something as simple as reaching out to a friend, journaling for 5 minutes, or taking a deep breath and reminding yourself that you are worthy of healing. So feel free to drop a response in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Every small step you take brings you closer to the life you're meant to live. So now what I'm going to do is explore why meaning and purpose can feel lost after trauma and how small actions help us reconnect. I want to introduce you to a simple but powerful exercise that will help you gain clarity on what truly matters to you right now. Often, when we feel disconnected, it's because we've drifted away from our core values, the things that bring us fulfillment, joy, and a sense of direction. You see, values act as an anchor point in our lives, as different anchor points, and they can guide our choices, shape our experiences, and provide a sense of stability. But after trauma or major life changes, we can lose touch with them, making us feel ungrounded or uncertain. Now, this exercise will help you identify the values that feel most important to you today and create a small, intentional action to bring that value to life. And if you have a pen and paper, feel free to go and grab them now. And if you're listening and don't have something to write with, that's okay, because you just take in the process and then come back to this video later to complete it. And you can even jot a note in your phone as a reminder to revisit this exercise when you have time. So what I'm going to share is what's called the anchor point exercise. It's a simple way to reconnect with your values and take small, meaningful action toward rediscovering purpose. And it will guide you through 3 steps that you will jot down here. So the first step is about identifying your top 3 values, reflecting on a moment when you felt fulfilled, and then choosing one value and one small action to honor it this week. See, those are the 3 steps. Now we'll go over them in a little more detail here in a moment, but these steps will help you see where meaning already exists in your life and how you can intentionally cultivate more of it. Now let's go ahead and begin here. So in step 1, you want to write down your top 3 values. So take a moment to think about the things that feel most important to you in this season of your life. Not what was important 5 years ago, not what someone else says should be important, but what truly feels meaningful to you right now. So here are some examples that it might be. It could be connection. In other words, deep, meaningful relationships with others. It could be growth. Maybe it's about learning, evolving, and expanding your mindset. Or it could be creativity, such as expressing yourself through art or music or writing, which is my favorite. And then through maybe it could be kindness, showing compassion and understanding to yourself and others. And it might be honesty, living with integrity and authenticity. Or it may be peace, finding inner calm and emotional balance. Or it could be resilience, building strength and overcoming challenges. So if you're unsure, think about what makes you feel most like yourself. And what qualities do you admire in others? What do you want more of in your life? And these are clues to your core values. And write down 3 values that feel most aligned with you right now. Now, in step 2, you want to reflect on a moment when you felt fulfilled. Now, I want you to close your eyes for a moment and then think back to a time when you felt a deep sense of joy, peace, or purpose. Now, it doesn't have to be a big event. It can be a simple moment. Where were you? What were you doing? Who were you with? What emotions were present? Now look at the values wrote down and which of those values were present in that moment. So, for example, if you felt deeply connected during a meaningful conversation with a friend, connection might be one of your core values. And if you felt fulfilled after finishing a creative project, creativity could be an important value for you. And when we feel fulfilled, it's often because we are living in alignment with our values. And this reflection helps you recognize where purpose already exists in your life, even if it feels small. Now, in step 3, you want to choose one value and one small action to honor it. So this week, look at your list of values and choose one that stands out to you the most right now. And this doesn't have to be a final decision, just what feels most meaningful today. Now, think of one small action you can take this week to honor that value. So here are some examples. If growth is a value, you could read a book or read a chapter of a book, take an online class or learn something new. And if connection is a value, you could call a friend or schedule a coffee date or write a heartfelt message to someone you appreciate. If peace is a value, you could spend 5 minutes each morning in stillness, journaling, or taking deep breaths. The key is to start small, see small intentional actions add up over time. And the more you engage in what lights you up, the more purpose naturally begins to take shape. Now, I'd love for you to share in the comments what is one value that stands out to you right now? And what is one small action you can take this week to honor it? And if you're not sure yet, that's okay. Take time to sit with these questions. Purpose isn't something that just appears overnight. It's something you build step by step through intentional choices that align with who you are today. So by putting this into practice, you are taking a step toward rediscovering what truly matters to you. And that is now purpose. That is how purpose begins to unfold. Now we've explored why trauma and major life changes can make meaning and purpose feel distant, how small intentional steps can help you reconnect, and how the anchor point exercise can guide you toward living in alignment with your values. Now the next step is putting this into action. This process isn't about figuring everything out all at once. Rediscovering meaning and purpose is not a single moment of clarity. It is a journey made up of small intentional choices that help you move forward one step at a time. And the best part, you don't have to do this alone. I have 2 powerful resources to support you as you take this next step toward a more fulfilling and purpose-driven life. Now remember, rediscovering meaning and purpose is a journey, not a destination. It's not about forcing yourself to return to who you were before. It's about embracing who you are becoming. Each small step you take brings you closer to a life that feels aligned, fulfilling, and uniquely yours. If today's session resonated with you and you're ready to take the next step, I have 2 free resources that can support you right now. And you can download my free workbook, which is called Rediscovering Meaning and Purpose, Set a Fulfilling Path Forward. And this step-by-step guide workbook is designed to help you reconnect with yourself, and realign with what truly matters and take actionable steps toward creating a life fulfilled with meaning and direction. And inside it, you'll find reflection exercises to help you uncover what's truly important to you. Also, you'll find guided activities to shift unhelpful patterns and rediscover your sense of purpose. And then there's also a structured 4-week plan with small, doable steps to build momentum and clarity. Now, this workbook isn't just about thinking, it's about doing. And you'll walk away with practical strategies that make it easier to move forward with confidence. So, and then the second thing is join me for a free 30-minute coaching session with me. If you're feeling stuck or unsure about where to begin, I'd love to personally support you in a no-fee session to rediscover meaning and purpose. And this private call is an opportunity to gain clarity, receive personalized guidance, and walk away with an action plan that fits your unique journey. And in our session, we'll identify one key area where you feel lost or disconnected. And then we'll explore how past experiences may be shaping your current struggles. And then we'll co-create a simple, personalized strategy to help you move forward with confidence. And you will leave this call with a fresh perspective on your healing journey, an immediate, actionable step to help you reconnect with purpose, and a sense of hope and direction as you move forward. And if you're ready for personalized support, this is your chance to get one-on-one coaching at no cost. Now, I'll pop these links in my comment below once the live is done. Rediscovering meaning and purpose is possible. No matter how lost you feel right now, there's a path forward. The key is taking the first step, and I'm here to walk alongside you as you do. And if you're ready to take action, go ahead and download that workbook or book your free call today. So let's work together to create the life you deserve. You are not alone in this, and you are capable of rediscovering meaning, reclaiming your direction, and building a fulfilling future. And I'm here to support you every step of the way. I hope you all have a great day. Thank you for joining me. Bye-bye.